Howdy ho, Stampers. Welcome back to my studio. This is Deb Valder, and I always love having you stop by. Today's card is absolutely adorable. It's a springy card. It's still winter here in the Northeast, so just looking forward to spring and the longer days. We thought this card would be absolutely adorable to do today. It's not only cute, it's absolutely adorable because it's a wobble card. Isn't that so cute? We put it on a wobble, so she kind of wobbles back and forth. We've got some really cute little grass going on here. It's adorable. All right, so let's get started. We've got a lot to do here. I'm going to color in front of you, which is something I don't usually do. But let's just try it out. So the first thing I'm going to do is just show you some of the products that we're going to be using. Now, in our shop, we have two sizes of wobbles. We have the large wobbles and we have the small wobbles. I'm going to be using the smaller wobbles on these, but they're just a lot of fun to play with. And then we're going to be using these two, this stamp right here, which is so cute. And then she also has a matching die to go along with her. So we're going to be using her. And then we're going to be using from Art Impressions. I love this little set right here. We have two of them in the shop right now. All right, so these are the two. This is the little saying that I'm going to be using right here. This is from Sentiment Set 2. And these are my little grasses that I'm going to be using here today. So we've got a lot of product. Oh, one more thing. My background is from this adorable little Echo Park paper pack that we have in the shop. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous colors. All right, so grab them while we have them and let's get started. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to, like I said, work on our background. The first thing I want to do is to take my little mini Misti, and you know I don't really care for the clear stamps, but I'm learning to work with them. So I mount them with my gloves on, and then what I do to make them not really get a whole lot of dirty is to first stamp them with our Wow embossing ink. All right, and that kind of keeps them clean and easier to clean off, I should say. And you can always emboss with them also. So I'm going to take and just add my black ink. And our black ink is Copic friendly. I like the little size that we have. I just love that. All right, so let's put this in our little mini Misti and just stamp her down. All right, let's get it a little tiny bit darker. That's why I like using my little Misti here, because you can get it as dark as you want it. Okay, perfect. All right, now that we have that and we know that's really good, let's take, let's clean that off first. And it just wipes nice and clean because I've got the Wow ink underneath it. I love that. All right, so there's that. And then let's stick this over here and our Wow ink. Now let's do the background. All right, so I'm going to take my Salty Ocean. We do have this in the shop also, and our little life-changing brushes are there also. All right, so we're just going to start in the middle and just kind of make this a circle, and that's just to give the color or the background a little bit of color. All right, and a little bit of texture. And then I just kind of feather it out. All right, let's just check and make sure that that's what we want. Yep, that looks pretty good. All right, not a lot of color, just a little bit to offset her in the background. All right, so we can put those two things aside. And now the next thing I'm going to do is to add my grass. Now, what you want to do, because this card has a lot of layers, you want to be very careful about your foam squares. So I'm going to use the thin foam squares for this one. All right, we have black and we have white. For the grass, I'm going to use the white and just use a couple. We're just, like I said, you don't want it to be too thick because we've got quite a few layers going on here. So let me grab my grasses here. And I always cut out a whole bunch of them ahead of time. So let me see. I think I'll do one of these. And you can cut them out different widths depending on how far up you put your little die. So for this one, I made it skinny, and this one I made it fat. And then for these little guys right here, they're really, really cute, and it gives it such character when you're doing this. So this one right here is, let's see, that's one of them, that's the other one. Okay, so there's two different dies in here. There's actually two of them. Let me just show you. Here's one, and then here is the other. Okay, so we have two different dies in there, which is nice when you want to have a little bit more texture here and there. All right, so let me show you how I did this. I'm going to add the pop dots right onto the bottom of this, okay, the little foam squares, and that way there, I'll know that I'm going to get it right in the right spots. All right, you don't need a lot. There we go. All right, so let's put our first layer on. Let's start with this little guy right here. Let's do, now we're going to trim everything off too. So now I can do it even lower, and that way there, I can just trim off the bottom as well. So this is really nice to play with. All right, so let's do this over here like this. Okay, want to make sure that it doesn't go down too awful far. And then let's take and trim that off. Okay, turning it underneath and just lining it up with the card. The same on this side. Okay, now you never throw these pieces away because we can use them again. All right, now let's do this right here. Since I have this one out, I'm going to do, you want it to be different. You want it to be like the depths of these, you want them to be different. So I think I'm going to go right about there. I'm going to add my foam squares over here. And we'll do one over here. And because it's so skinny in the middle, I don't think I'll add any here in the middle. All right, so I'm just going to remember these are the thin ones. You want to use the thin ones because you don't want too much height to this because we've got so much depth. All right, I'm going to line it up. All right, going over the side just a little bit more on that side and then that side. Oh, isn't that so cute? All righty, and then we'll just trim it off right here. There we go. There, isn't that so cute? Whoops, I got a crooked little piece right here that I'll trim off, and that's the beauty of this because you can't tell if you need to trim it off. Okay, so that is the background right there. All right, we can actually take and put all of it together except the girl. So let's do that. Let me grab my trimmer here. I'm going to bring this in because I don't like to waste paper. Let's put these away over here. I don't like to waste paper, so let's just trim these off right here. All right, I'm just going to go in, let's go in about a 1/2 inch, go down about a 1/2 inch. And this doesn't have to be rocket science. This can just be, you know, whatever you want to use for your next piece. So I'm going to save this piece and use it for something else. All right, I could also do this with, I can also do this with a die if I wanted to, but since I had my cutter right here, I'm going to do it with my cutter. And that way there you can see how it's done. All right, and then this piece right here is actually a beautiful piece to use for another project. All right, so we're done with that. Let's put that away. And let's just put this all together with our card base. Now remember, this is that beautiful, beautiful paper. It's got such cute little designs. I want to do this because I think it's more springy. So let's grab some of our adhesive. Now remember, I'm trying to be very careful with my layers because we've got so many layers to start with. So I'm just going to take and use my regular tape for this. Add it to my card base. Okay. And then we're going to take and add the white to our brand new colors right here. All right, so I'm going to add these two together. So I'm just going to keep that close to the edge. I love this grass because it looks like Easter grass. You know, it just is this time of the year. I only made just a small margin of color here because I wanted to make sure that I didn't take away from this background. All right, so we've got that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pop that up. But we don't want a lot of dimensions, so we're going to, again, take our thin foam squares, but I'm going to use the larger ones. Okay, and when you get a set of these, you get a set of small and large in a pack. All right, so you get a sheet of these and a sheet of the small ones, and then you're good to go. You've got both sizes to work with. All right, you don't even need to take the sticky off of that one because it's just a placeholder. All right, so there we go. Look at that. We're almost done with the card. Now, the next thing that you're going to do is you can color this little girl with anything that you want, okay? I'm going to use Copic markers on this one because I just love my Copics, but I also love to watercolor, so using different mediums, just whatever you're comfortable with, all right? So I've already stamped her, and now what we're going to do is we're going to cut her out. Now I will tell you, when you cut her out, it's going to leave a little bit of a mark right here. It's cuter than the dickens. You can't see it when it's all done, but I just wanted to give you a heads up on that just so that you knew. All right, so let's go over here and cut it out. I'm going to bring you over with me to my Vagabond. Okay. And because this is so precise, I'm going to use my tape to hold it down. Let me just grab this, put it on here. And I just don't want the top part here to move. All right, this little piece up here. So I'm going to just center it. Okay, so this is the part that I want to keep. All right, the rest of it will stay, but I just don't want that little delicate part to move. All right, now we're just going to add our little piece right here, send it through, and bring it back. This is so cute. All righty, let's bring you back over here. Make sure you're straight here. All right, and we're going to take this off, and we're going to pop this right out. Okay. There we go. Oh, there she goes. I don't want to lose my die, so I'm just going to leave that on there for now. Okay, and she's all cut out. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a little tiny line that goes right there and there. That's so that we can cut out the middle. I'd rather have the middle cut out and not to have me have to cut that middle out. So I'm okay with that little line right there. This is so cute. All right, so now let's move this out of the way. All right, and we're going to start coloring. All right, let's grab this. And all right, so I'm going to start with my little tire, and I'm going to start with some of my grays. So I'm going to start with, let me just go to, all right, so I've got N1, 3, 7, I got 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, and I'm going to just color the whole thing in with the N7. All right, I am not a Copic specialist. I just love to color with them, and I do it my way. All right, I'm not certified. I'm not, so I guess most of us aren't. So I guess watching me might even help you a little bit more because I'm not an expert at this, but I just love coloring with them. I love the way they blend. I just think they're so adorable. All right, so I've got a little base coat for my tire. All right, and now I'm just going to add a little bit of color to it. A little bit more color, I should say. All right, so we're going to go from lightest to darkest. Okay, now let's go a little bit darker. See how I'm working my colors into it? All right, so now I'm just going to start taking and putting in some of the detail. Even though this isn't the darkest color yet, I'm just working my way up slowly. And those of you that are experts are probably cringing with the way I do it, but I don't know, I guess it works for me. And I guess that's what you have to do. You just have to do what works for you. All right? Little bit darker. Whoops, I like the other side, this side right here. Okay, and we're just going to go a little bit darker. starting to look a little bit more like a tire. All right, I'm going to go back and grab my darkest dark, which is my number 9. Yep. And just kind of darken up these. Until I'm happy with the color. There we go. One more lighter. This is N5, so I'm going to go back to the N3 and just blend this in a little bit. And I think we're done with that part of it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my colorless blender, and I'm just going to go back and take out a little bit of color for this highlight right here. Okay, when it dries, it's going to look a little bit different, but that's a good thing. See how I'm taking out a little bit of highlight right here? Good. All right, that's it for now. We'll go back and tweak it in a bit. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on her hair. And I'm going to do that with, I think we'll do blonde hair today. All right, so we're going to start with my lightest color again. So I'm using the Y21, 23, 15, and 18. All right. So that's Y21 and 23 and E15 and E18. All right, so let's just give it a base coat. Then I know right where all my hair is going to be. Let's see if this helps. So she's got a little braid. There we go. All right, so there's the E21. Now let's go to the E23. I always go lighter to darker. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but that's the way I do it. Okay, just giving it a little bit more color. Okay, not the whole thing, keeping the highlights in there. And then let's do some E15. And I'm just going to kind of wisp that. And not cover up all of the underlying color. Okay. And then just a little bit here. Okay. Now let's go to the darker. Okay, and we're just going to go and I left a little bit of highlight there in the middle. Alrighty, we're going to hold off on that for now. Go back just a little bit on this one. I don't want to blend it in too much. I am going to take a little bit of this right here, which is E79. Just make a couple of swipes with that right up here on the crown. Right down here. Okay, let's go to our next step. Okay, so now what we're going to do is work on her skin tones. And I think I'll start with the E00 first and get all that in there, just to show me where all of her skin is. So she's got an arm that's up here. Excuse me. And here's her. And then she's got her legs and her feet that are showing also, because it's a nice summer day. Okay, so we're going to leave that one out. Let's see, let's add a little bit of shading to it. All right, so underneath her hair, we'll do a little bit right around her face there. And then we're going to do this side of the arm. And underneath, there we go. Okay, and we'll blend all those in just a minute. We'll put a few little accents darker. Underneath here is really dark. And then I'll just go back and I'll blend it all in. I'm going to blend it with the lighter of the two. Oops. There. See, she's coming to life. Isn't she so cute? All right, now what we'll do is we'll work on her jeans. I'm going to use I like to use the numbers that are close together. So there's 91, 93, 95, and 97. So we'll start with our 91 right here. And I'm just going to do, like I do with all of them, I just kind of put a base coat in there. Just kind of scrub in the color there, okay? A little bit down here. I don't do a lot down here because those are the rolled up jeans and on the inside. And I'll be taking some of that color out anyway, all right? So that's the lightest color. And then I'm going to go back in and okay, and then I'm going to take the next darker color, which is the 95. And you see I'm just going down a little bit each time, not coloring as much. Okay, and then the darkest. And then we'll blend them all back together again, all right? So let's start right here. Okay, and then let's blend them together with the lightest color. Now this one I wanted to look a little denim-y, washed out kind of look, so you'll see me kind of just pulling it in, but not blending it a whole lot because I wanted it to look just a little bit worn out. Oops, that one's not dark enough. Okay, then I'm going to go back with this one. Just pepper in some color, because that's the rolled up part, and you see that from the inside. Oops. Okay, and now I'm going to take and just blend this out just a little bit. And then I'm going to take my colorless blender and take a little bit out. Because like I said, I want this to look like the denim wash. There we go. All right, now, oh, there is one thing. I'm going to go back to my flesh tone, and instead of having a patch on her knee, we're going to make this one of the, so her knee is showing through, you know, like they have ripped jeans. This one's going to be a ripped jean. Okay. Whoops. Let's get a little bit of dark in there. There we go. See, that's her knee coming out. Let me show you on this one. It's so cute. So cute. See? There's her little knee coming out there. All right, so now let's do, I haven't done this yet, so let's do a green shirt. So we've got an orange and a pink, and let's do a green. All right, and we're almost done with this card. And then you can tell me which colors you like the best. Alrighty, there's one green. Let's go with the 21 next. And your darker colors are always underneath things. So this shirt is underneath her arm right here. So it's going to be a little bit darker than some of the other parts. Okay. And then we'll take and go a little bit darker. See how dark this one is. I usually try these colors on a piece of paper first, you know, and just blend them together to see if they go really well. And these really did look nice together. Now I'm going to take and put just a little tiny bit of the really dark green on some of the parts that are going to be like really underneath things. Okay, so, and then I'll blend these all together. See how little I'm putting on there? Okay, and then I'll just blend those together. See how pretty the colors go together? All right, now let me just take my lighter color here and bring them all down. And then I'll go a little bit lighter yet. It just looks so cute. I really like the green. There. So cute. All right, and then I'm going to do that little pole. I'll do that with this brown right here. And you just kind of scrub it up just a little bit. And not the pole, this is the string or the rope that's attached to the tree. There we go. Alrighty, I think she's done. Isn't that cute? So here we have, let me just show you, we have a pink one, an orange one, and a green one. Isn't that cute? All right, now what we need to do is to put it all together. So I'll take the green one, the one that we just did, and grab my card. Now remember, we've got most of the card all done. Now what I need is my little wobble. And it doesn't matter whether you go like this, meaning that the opening is at the top or the bottom, because they all wobble the same. But my rule of thumb is you want it to be anchored the best you can on the card. So I always put the one that is the solid, which is this one right here, on the base of the card. All right, and then I'm going to take this off right here. All right, and I'm going to put this one on the girl. Now, because we're going to take and we're going to put some crystal glaze on the bottom, that's going to weight this down a little bit more. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that this wobble is down here more than it is up towards her head, because it's going to end up kind of pushing its way down, because this is going to be heavier. Does that make sense? All right, so I'm going to put it on her first, and I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it close to I'm going to put it really close to the tire, halfway on the tire, halfway off, and then I'm going to just lay it right here in the middle of where we did the little burnishing. All right, so here she is right here. Whoops, let's put her back down here. All right, let's put her back down like that, and then I need to trim off part of this right here. All right, because we don't want it going over that little guy right there. All right, so let's put our crystal glaze Start it over here. Okay, we're going to take our crystal glaze and you're just going to very carefully add it all the way around. There we go. How's that? And as soon as it dries, we're going to manipulate it a little bit and it's good to go. So without touching it, I just wanted to bring back in the other one. And this little gal right here, I'll finish up another one with her because I've got all the stuff already done. And that's our post for today. I hope you enjoyed it. You take care. Make sure you subscribe to our videos by hitting the little subscribe button down below. And there's a little bell right next to it. If you click on that, every time I put out a new video, you'll get a little heads up. And then hit the thumbs up button if you like this. And please share it with your friends. You take care. Have a great day. And thank you so much for stopping by.